Today I want to show you how to make a dish from northern Spain, a region called Catalonia, and it's a very late winter, early spring dish consisting of oven roast spring onions with a lovely dipping sauce called romesco sauce. Here are the ingredients you'll need. About 20 spring onions, that makes about 4 average bunches, a large red bell pepper, 4 tomatoes, which makes about 15 ounces or 400 grams. If you can't get fresh tomatoes, get them in a glass jar rather than a can that's lined with plastic resin if you can. A tablespoon of paprika powder, a 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of olive oil, 1/2 cup or 90 grams of whole hazelnuts. You can use almonds instead of hazelnuts. Both are traditionally used in the Catalan recipe. 6 cloves of garlic, and I wanted to show you the lovely fresh spring garlic that we finally started getting. A thick slice of crusty country bread, ideally sourdough bread if you can. A little bit of sherry vinegar, salt and pepper. So we start by baking the spring onions, which once you've cleaned them, cut off the rootlets and any kind of limp brownish leaves, you put into a baking dish where they can be about 2 layers deep. Then you drizzle a little olive oil over, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, a little coarse sea salt, and then you, either with your hands or just by shaking the dish around, I like to do it with my hands, make sure everything is nicely mixed up and the spring onions are covered with oil. Spring onions belong to the family of allium vegetables, others being onions, leeks, chives, anything oniony, garlic of course, and they contain a wide range of health protective compounds, for instance sulphur-containing compounds, flavonoids like quercetin, and polyphenols, all of which have anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and also are thought to have anti-cancer properties. Anyway, back to our recipe. We preheat the oven to 375 Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius, and then we cover the onion dish with aluminium foil and slide them into the oven, where we bake them covered for about 20 minutes. They will cook in their own steam, which is a very gentle way of cooking vegetables, and then for the last 10 minutes we'll take the foil off so that they can get a little golden. While the onions are in the oven, we'll start making the romesco sauce. Warm a cast iron skillet with half, roughly, of the olive oil, and add to this the whole hazelnuts. Make sure they're nice and fresh and not roasted or salted or anything like that, completely unprocessed, and the bread cubes. If you don't tolerate wheat or gluten, you can replace this with gluten-free bread, or in fact I often replace bread in recipes like these with chestnuts, vacuum-packed chestnuts, which have the same thickening effect which we're using the bread for. Now cook these on a moderate heat for about 5 to 7 minutes until the bread starts getting crisp and the nuts, well, you can't really see them turning golden, but if they get slightly darker, that's when they're ready. You don't want to let them get too dark because then they get bitter. Make sure you stand next to it and stir the whole time. Don't walk away. Once the edges of the bread are crispy and the skins have darkened, tip it into a dish and set aside until later. It's important to use hazelnuts with their skins on because hazelnut skins are extremely rich in antioxidants. They're one of the most antioxidant-rich foods, so it's a useful idea also just to eat hazelnuts as a snack, for instance. Now, give the pan a quick wipe, just with a piece of kitchen paper, and then we'll continue cooking the sauce. We'll be cooking the garlic, tomatoes and peppers. We add the remainder of the olive oil to the pan. Garlic. Don't fry the garlic very long because it gets bitter very quickly. Just a few seconds, just to infuse the oil with the lovely garlic flavour. And then we add the chopped pepper, cook it about 2 or 3 minutes, and then add the tomatoes. You can use peppers from a jar if you're in a hurry, roasted peppers, that tastes delicious as well. I prefer using the real thing, partly because peppers in the jar are very often stored in sunflower oil, which is very high in omega-6 fatty acids and not very healthy. When the peppers have started softening, add the tomatoes. I've chopped them quite coarsely. I've removed the seeds but not the skin, because it's when you cook the skin that the lycopene, which is an antioxidant in the skin, gets released, especially when you cook it in olive oil with garlic. So I leave the skins on, and now we'll cook it all up together. Put on a bit of salt and pepper. If you like your sauce a bit spicier, you can also add some chili flakes at this point. Stir and cook until it's a fairly nice soft mixture, about 5 or 6 minutes. If you're using fresh tomatoes that are quite high in moisture, leave them to cook open like this. Otherwise, if they're quite firm tomatoes, you can cover them with a lid. Now, once the pepper, tomato, garlic mixture is soft and mushy, we put everything in a blender. I usually start with the softer textured vegetables because they blend more easily. And then I put the nuts and bread on top. These have now cooled in the meantime and are nice and crunchy. There we go. Now we add 2 tablespoons of ideally sherry vinegar, very Spanish, otherwise just red wine vinegar is fine. Although red wine vinegar can be a little sharper, so you might want to just put 1 spoon in and see. We also add the paprika powder, more antioxidants there, and we'll start blending. It takes a while to get through the nuts and the bread, so it may take 2 or 3 minutes of blending. This thing has seen better days. There we go. So after about 3 or 4 minutes of blending, you get this rather thick, slightly gritty sauce because of the little nut pieces in there, but I like that. Gives it extra texture. Now, season it with salt and pepper, and then fill it into a bowl and let it cool until you serve it. This sauce is best eaten either lukewarm or room temperature. Once the onions are golden, get them out of the oven. Oh, you see that? They've rendered their juice, so they're nice and juicy, and then you serve them with this sauce. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments box below. If you'd like to contact me, you can do so by going to the Zest for Life website, www.zestforlifediet.com, and click on the author tab to send me an email. This recipe is not in Zest for Life, so if you'd like a copy of the recipe, I'm very happy to send it to you. Just pop me an email and let me know how I can reach you.